right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Parasite the Maxim, episode 8.
Okay.
All right.
So,
yeah.
We're in the, we got some more body horror ahead of us. More crazy stuff happening. But the thing is, Shinichi is not alone anymore. He's got his new buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's not dead.
But they're also splitting up. So,
right,
because of Shinichi returning home and going back to school, and acting as if like nothing has changed,
even though everything has changed, and he looks very different, and Miss Psychic probably. Girl has like felt a disturbance in the Force, and good old Murano can definitely tell that he is different. Yeah. So we'll see where this leads.
Yep. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Reality can be whatever I want.
See, that's when we get you like a green screen shirt and we're just like,
oh no.
The editors are like, reality can actually be whatever I want, you know?
Okay.
Oh, dang.
So this is...
The drama is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Shinichi is changing, and the thing is that, like normal people, he's not aware. Of the ways that he's changing. Because you're trying to tell the differences in a system from within the system.
He's compromised to the point to where even though he knows there's something off. Based on the feedback he's getting,
he can't tell what it is.
Right, there's a lack of self-awareness with regards to his recent progression because he essentially threw away the old system and it's been replaced with a new system.
Now, the interesting thing here is that he could actually get very good potentially at fitting in if he goes for the psychopath route.
Well, sociopath. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of basically knowing that, okay, apparently I'm not feeling these things like I used to. I need to pretend to. I need to mimic them.
Oh, this is so depressing. Like,
yeah. And the thing that's the worst about it, this sounds terrible to say, but I don't really care about his relationship with Murano. I care about the fact that she doesn't know what's going on and all that stuff. But the worst part of it is the dad.
Yeah, the worst part of it is the
dad that feels like he's alone. In a lot of ways he is because Shinichi is not going through the grieving process. He's not, like, there are so many things that Shinichi could do that would help his dad here. But he doesn't, right? They would be easy things to do, but he doesn't.
Yep.
And that's rough.
Even just showing that he's struggling. Because here's the thing. The dad's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's doing what he can. But here's the thing. If you don't show vulnerabilities, because let's think about this from Migi's perspective. Migi never wants to show vulnerabilities. Why? Because it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I know that's a horrible thing to say during this episode.
But they've literally had a dog-eat-dog in one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah. So in terms of survival, yes, vulnerabilities is a stupid thing to do. But in terms of connection and relationship, vulnerabilities it's huge. It's everything.
And the thing is, it's also a thing for survival, because while in this case, Shinichi might not need anyone's help for survival in the traditional sense.
Sure.
For survival in the long term, you need community, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is that his dad is trying to survive in a different level than Shinichi is trying to survive right now.
Right.
And because of that, he needs people.
Yep.
But because of his actions and also his circumstances, he doesn't have them.
Nope. So this is going to get worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We saw the early bits, and I think this is genius with the way the dialogue was written, but we saw the early bits of the father that gets a level of animosity towards Shinichi because of this. And he tempered it immediately. Yeah. He was like, shut that down. He's like, no. No. But he bottled it up, basically.
But the problem, the thing is, he's bottling up a lot. And that is not long-term healthy.
Nope.
You know, even with the stuff before of him shutting down to not try and, like, you know, negatively influence Shinichi, that's not good. Like, there are times when you do that, but you need to be able to connect with people and be real with people. And the thing is that in both situations, for many different reasons, and in many different examples, they feel like they can't do anything.
Yep.
The dad feels like he can't do anything because his wife is gone. Yep. Right? Shinichi feels like he can't do anything because, well, his mom's gone. And he feels like he can't do anything because now his dad's drinking and, you know, and he doesn't know what to do, right? Even though there are many things that he could do, right?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, and it's almost gotten to the point where he might not even be seeing a problem with his father's mental health, but just the physical problems of drinking too much alcohol.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you should eat something. Might just be at this point, you should eat something because it's not good for your physical health to drink so much on an empty stomach. But nothing to do with the idea that his father's emotional turmoil.
Yep. And then at the same time, the dad, while feeling powerless about the whole thing of his wife being gone, then he sees his son completely like a different person, right? Because, I mean,
struggling,
he is,
nothing,
you know,
like no struggle at all.
Yep. And yeah, which is not only makes it worse, but it's also like adding insult to injury because it's the idea of then, well, why can't I, you know, like, even though I'm sure he doesn't think of that because he just sees what Shinichi's doing, his lack of, you know, dealing with it as being weird. Okay. Like, the amount of self-destructive spiraling that has begun to happen and probably will continue to happen as a result of this is substantial.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, with how Shinichi's handling it, of sort of becoming deadened to it, the thing is that that's actually a very real thing that happens. It doesn't usually happen that quickly, but it happens.
It totally happens.
Where because what else can you do, right? If it's in a situation where you don't feel like you can do anything, now there's plenty of things that Shinichi could do, but because of circumstances, you know, whatever. But eventually it can get to that point where it's like, well, you just sort of learn to live with it because you have to.
Yeah.
And, oh boy.
And the thing is that if someone outside of his immediate family environment was aware of kind of what was going on there, a lot of his behavior outside of this could be explained by, he's recently dealt with the trauma of losing his mom.
And he's just shutting down.
Emotionally. Mm-hmm. But we know there's more to it than that.
Right.
And also, in a lot of ways, there's certain parts of this where it goes a bit beyond that. And this is something that I'm very impressed with how cleverly they set these whole things up, because there's no part of it that feels like it's the plot kind of shoving things into specific orders, except that they basically just have a lot of characters that they desire to have in this story. Like, like Kana, for instance, is such an out of left field character that we're like, really?
She doesn't need to be in the story. As far as we know, she might have big plot implications with the fact that she appears to be human, can't be sensed by the parasites, but can sense the other parasite.
Mm-hmm. So we'll find out about that. Yeah. But then you have like Mitsuo. You know, Mitsuo had his whole thing with, you know, dealing with him before he left on the trip, and now he comes back and sees him indifferent, and he's, you know, jealous of the idea that Kana is thinking about him, but not Mitsuo. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna, you know, kick his ass and show him what's up.
But that doesn't work.
And also, you know, in a lot of ways, there's no offense taken by Shinichi of him being like, yeah, can you make this quick? Like, like stuff I've got to do. So he doesn't even feel threatened by this whole thing there. It's basically like if your dog basically was like, hey, I want to play wrestle. And you're like, fine, can we just make this quick? Like, that's how little he thinks of this whole thing here in his
and
whole
even worse because
state.
It's something where before it was something where he was able to elicit a large amount of fear from Shinichi because he was the dominant one in that relationship. He could kick his ass if he wanted to, right?
Right.
And now, not only can
he switched.
Not only did it switch, but it's even more effortless for Shinichi than it was for Mitsuo originally.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's an afterthought. you know.
Yeah, Shinichi like actually did a good job of kind of just taking it.
Right, yeah, of like, not retaliating or anything. And then you know, oh, here's your shoe. You know, I'll leave it here. Like, yeah. Which is probably the most unsettling part about it. It's not the physical feats that he did or anything like that. Even though stopping, you know, the shoe or the kick and everything, that's a big deal, especially considering how he used to be. But it's the attitude of it. Right. That, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. We have Hideo coming into the story here. Mm-hmm. He was set up in the beginning of the episode as being someone who's connected with Tamiya. Mm-hmm. I had a theory towards the end of the episode that I've thought about, and it seems a little bit far-fetched. But the one part that I do find to be quite fascinating about this is that in terms of time that's passed, it's been a very short amount of time. Yes. So I would say it's more of a thing where Tamiya is now an enigma for the species. So she probably attracted someone else who was an enigma of the species. And they're here to be a... right. Well, actually, in some ways, they are the dark mirror of what Shinichi is becoming. They are the cold sociopath that is trying to mimic, lie, and deceive their way into integrating with the rest of the species.
And even forgetting about the fact that Hideo, I believe, you know, seems like ate that girl.
Killed her at the very least.
Right. There's the fact that he said, "Oh yeah, I haven't hurt any humans." After just casually
Now, I think he said he doesn't eat humans.
No, he just said hurt.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Ha! Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, it's like,
so he's also lacking a bit of his own self-awareness with regards to maybe the statements.
Well, right, because he's talking about I haven't seriously hurt anybody. It's nothing that's a big problem, and we'll recover from that. You know,
for sure.
Yeah. No permanent damage done. Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting point. The idea that Hide is so callous towards the humans around him, he does things that are basically against his integration kind of mission, which is, well, she gave him the mission of observe him without killing him, right?
Right.
But he obviously does have some desire to kind of integrate into the environment here by doing like the sports thing and what have you, like trying to.
Even though he did give the explanation of like, it's just good for keeping, you know, yourself in proper control of your body, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. But like he could just basically be like, I'm just going to be here and I won't do anything. Like he could try and make himself like he doesn't care about hiding. As it seems, he seems to have this contradictory nature with regards to him being there to watch and observe, but also having this callous approach to how he talks about the two of them when there's another guy
when there's another person right there. Yeah.
So it's like, wait a minute.
Yep.
What's his actual end goal?
Right.
Because it's not just observing Shinichi either without killing him.
Well, and one of the other things that's kind of funny is it's not just his lack of response to certain things, but Shinichi's lack of response to certain things that he does.
Yeah.
The way this show is handling Shinichi's character and that change is wonderful because it's so much more unsettling than if you were to see a side character do this.
Yes.
Because since they're the main character, they're your perspective character, right? You know, for the most part.
Yeah.
So seeing them change in this way that they aren't even aware of, right, is
so
scary.
Quickly too.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that like it makes sense that something like that would happen because as much as we have our own personality and everything, that is all founded on biology. If the biology changes, you know.
Well, that's the thing. I just realized I haven't been theorizing based on this one striking bit of evidence. The idea that a bunch of little miggies, a bunch of microscopic miggies went throughout the bloodstream. Those little miggies should have some aspect of their own they should have some kind of subconscious, conscious kind of identity. So all of them have basically a slight kind of signal being boosted out into his physiology of survival, of being more like Miggy, being more like a parasite.
Sure.
And that's why he's changing the way he is. But it's also something that says the whole separation thing is bigger than just the casual bit of Miggy talking about it. Like I think my theory is on to something. Then it's not right. It's not looking in the right spot, obviously, because there's some problems there.
And the exact details of how that would work biologically break down, because these parasites aren't something that really could exist. But if they did,
yeah,
and they got to the brain, then they'd have to, and like if they took the place of like some neurons or things like that, sort of integrated in that sense, then they'd probably be small enough that they wouldn't actually have cognizant thought. And if they did,
but they could just. But it's world building. It's all something that they can just decide for the story to have it be that way.
Right. Because when it comes right down to it, Migi and Shinichi, the line between them is getting blurred.
Yep. That is I would say one of the themes of the story.
Right. And that's the whole point of following Shinichi, right? Because it's the whole idea of is coexistence possible.
Right.
And this is one example of what it might look like.
Right.
Now, is that something that you want for the long term? Because is that really coexistence, or is that creating a new species?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that might be how the procreation is possible. And just that basically because it's the idea of you're not actually like birthing the same species, right? Like giving birth to a human or giving birth to a parasite, however that would work. It's just creating something different, and then there you go. So more of an evolution than an actual propagation.
Yes, but that's different from what Tamiya is doing.
Yeah.
And Tamiya can reproduce.
Right, but even so, it's a human. So.
Yeah. But the point is that the reproducing of humans doesn't necessarily mean that will.
Right, we still need to figure out how the parasites themselves will actually reproduce as parasites.
Yeah. And my thing is that it has to do with the splitting of the parasite themselves off from themselves, because let's think about it in terms of like entropy, basically the idea of there being a perfect solid absolute amount of matter or what have you. The food that the parasites are ingesting, where does it go?
Gets burned up for energy.
Right, it gets burned up for energy, but energy can't be
the sum total of matter and energy, and there's not fission happening or anything like that.
Exactly.
But it ends up getting
So does it get excreted? Does the remaining stuff is there any kind of waste, or is what my theory is that there's some aspect of it that is able to be used that becomes excess that could then create another Migi, basically.
Right. I'm no biologist, so I don't know how that even happens on like a molecular level for humans, because but
don't take what I'm saying so literally. I'm just trying to explain with their pseudo sci-fi thing of there even being these parasites to begin with.
Sure.
How they could explain.
Well, right. The idea that if you have separate Migis, and they require sustenance, right?
Right.
Could they theoretically grow?
Right. Yes.
If parasites can grow, then they can multiply.
Yes.
And that's the thing that again the science
simplified it for me.
The science breaks down because they can just extend themselves, and that seems to work just fine.
Because we are an extension of a very small thing, if you think about it.
Wait, So I'm talking about the fact that Migi is in a hand.
Yes.
And then suddenly it grows to something 30 feet long.
Right, but that makes sense, actually, when you think about human beings. If you were to compress them down to all the cells that they are, there's a lot of gaps in between.
Well, that's just how atoms work.
Well, yes, but I'm saying that's matter. That's matter. So in a way, Migi is just dense matter, and he's just changing his density and elasticity at will, because that's how this sci-fi allows him to have control over his own matter.
Right, sci-fi, physics, and but
it works without much stretch of the immersion imagination, at least for me.
It's part of the premise of the show, right? But if that's some if Migi could theoretically make himself grow and do his sort of extended form, could he then split himself, and would those parts be able to split themselves as much?
Right, but we literally saw that though, when a portion of a portion of a portion of a portion, and he said that eventually it got to a point where they would lose consciousness, right? They wouldn't have any individuality or what have you. This
is probably just something that isn't supposed to be sort of explored, because it's one of the things where the physics breaks down, but the idea that there is a set amount of matter for Migi, you know. Like, because they talk about that all the time, the set amount of mass, right? So he can only divide so many times, you know, and yet some of the things that he does makes it seem like that's
I'm gonna
set.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my theory here, because we've seen him split up, and we are now having the splitting up portion of him actually influencing the story on such an important level, on such a fundamental level, that it has to keep going. This is not an end of it within itself. This is not a this is just the way he is now. This is
an
will
overarching
continue.
arc for the entire story, and by the time we get to the end, Shinichi and Migi, the line will almost probably be erased completely. And whether that's going to be because Migi detaches and, you know, forms onto someone else, and the parts that are already inside Shinichi just grow until you know that's what they are.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But
yeah. I see so much potential there. I can't help but try to go into it.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
It's out what the furthest they could take this with,
right? And
then also extrapolate from it where and how it connects with the newest plot development they've introduced, which is Hideo's character coming into the story.
Yeah, I absolutely love everything that they are doing with Shinichi's growth and development and things like that. And again, it's another example of how having a character that is more of a normal character, you know, a self-insert, if you will, allows you to do all these amazing things, because you can take them on this crazy journey all over the course of the story, because you don't have to spend as much time establishing them.
Yeah, they have less. They have less.
Yeah, they're a simple person, right? And then now it gets complicated.
So it's a perfect foundation. We're building blocks on top of the foundation.
Yep.
We have now multiple characters involved with this whole thing. It's getting complicated. It's something where there is no particular end goal in sight with regards to Hideo. And I am worried as to the relationship drama thing being more of a feedback kind of source for us to see when Shinichi has these changes in a bigger way.
Okay.
Because that puts them in danger.
Sure.
In like serious danger.
And Tachikawa is probably going to be in danger given her recently discovered fascination with Hideo, and the fact that he does definitely hurt humans still.
Now, can we talk about the verbiage he used? He's like, he looks at this guy's this model on a like a deodorant ad or shampoo ad or something. He's like, I'll use this one as bait. Bait? Bait?
Yep.
So like hunting trap.
Yeah.
Okay, he set the bait. He got his prey. What did he do to that girl? Because like you said, there was no blood. So is it just like a kind of a horror censoring kind of thing?
Well,
or is it something more sinister?
Well, yeah. So this is one of the concerning things, is that with Tamiya, it was about reproduction.
Yes.
Right? Well, she is a female host with a parasite. There's the possibility that there is experimentation going on with a male host that has a parasite and reproduction through that manner. Hence why the whole saying of "I've never hurt anyone" becomes a whole lot more sinister, because he's answering the thing of "I haven't killed anyone. I may have smashed this dude in the jaw. I may have done all sorts of other things to potentially many women out there."
Yeah, he even grabbed Kana's hand in a way that was like, "I'm going to end up hurting you, and I am not physically hurting you." Now. So he has either a lot of willingness to deceive, or he has zero self-awareness regarding what he's actually doing.
Yeah.
Which fits.
Both are scary.
Yeah, they both are scary, and they both parallel perfectly with what's going on with Shinichi.
Yep.
So, good episode. Yes. Really good episode. It feels like the show is ramping up like way more than its rate of ramping up was earlier on in the show. And given that
this is episode 8...
Yeah, we've got a lot more to go.
Show. By the time we get to the end, yeah, this will be interesting.
Good luck.
Shinichi's like, I could see them almost doing something where Shinichi ends up not even being like the protagonist in that sense, where
Sure.
where like it ends up being something where it's like, no, yeah, I don't even know how to do that. But
There's a little bit of Akira in there.
Yeah.
Do you see that? You see where that could go that route a little bit?
I was thinking Breaking Bad, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and get involved with our community there, with our events, all kinds of wacky stuff.
Yep.
And also, you can talk with Jacob about his awesome book.
That's right. Probably kind of weird wearing the shirt, but my sci-fi novel Battle Lines is available for order still on Amazon. The link is in the description below. And there may be some signed copies left.
Yes. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.